Daryl King here, sharing the mindsets with my very, very special guest today, Storm Fletcher from Richard Robbins. Hi, everybody. Right? So, it gives me great honor to introduce Storm because I've known Storm probably at least 20 years. And Storm and I have good mutual friends because she used to, well, you're probably still good friends with Richard Robbins' wife.
Tony and Sage,
Tony
Robbins.
Sage,
yeah. Sage
right?
Robbins, you bet.
So it's a confusion for most. But she was involved with the big Tony Robbins and Sage, and then she's now with Richard Robbins. So she's a Robbins family. Right? So she's had a lot of great exposure. She's been a driving force for the last 2 decades with Richard Robbins, helping establish it as Canada's leading authority in real estate training and coaching. A master of her craft, Storm leads the charge in client development and growth, rooted in her belief that success begins where comfort ends. Known for her powerful communication, dynamic presence, and deep coaching expertise, Storm inspires those around her to aim higher, think differently, and to achieve more. Whether on stage or in one-on-one sessions right now, Storm is going to be here as a catalyst for your real change in your business and in your life. So let's give her a big hand.
Thank you.
Thanks, son. Look at that big smile, right? So the beautiful part about it is when she walks on stage, she has a real presence. And, me and her have taken lots of pictures out front together, and now we get to have pictures up here.
Yes.
So, Storm, just give yourself a little introduction to everybody here. And like I said, we're all happy to have you here. I know I am. Who's excited? Right? To have the next 2 hours of undivided attention to learn and to grow something. So you should all have your notebooks out. I'm a note taker myself. I take notes. So it's going to be recorded, but some take notes on their phone. But whatever it is, make sure you're taking notes today.
100%.
Right?
Take notes. Or on your phone. But if I see you working on your phone, I'm going to get up out of this chair. Guys, look it. My daddy retired out of real estate after 40 years. Remax loud and proud. And so here's what I can tell you. Why we love what it is that we do and why I want you to be excited about what it is you do. We have opportunities inside of our industry that are unimaginable and unmatched. But there's a myth. There's a myth that filled with opportunity means that we're just going to wait for the magic thing to show up. And what I'm really passionate about is helping everybody discover opportunity looks a whole hell of a lot like hard work. But if I'm going to work hard, I want to make sure that I understand what result it is that I want to produce. And then I'm going to let that go and focus on the behaviors, right? Inside of our industry, there's so many incredible voices. I always say to everybody, I want you to make sure you stay curious, guys. Listen to every possible voice that you can. Listen to every opinion that you can. And then process and internalize and figure out what really resonates for you. I love who I get to work with. I say, in life where nobody's not recruitable, I'm not recruitable. Richard Robbins, the people that we serve, they're my family. And I would never, ever leave who we are and what we do. I believe in it so strongly. I'm excited to share some of that with you guys today.
So one thing that you said there, take all opinions. I'm on the disbelief of that. Don't take all opinions because a lot of opinions are just opinions. It's not an expert. Take opinions for those that are experts in their industry. But
so I would say I agree with you, Daryl, but here's the thing. I can't figure out what's wrong. My path of discovering what's wrong is sometimes, can I cuss a little bit?
Yes.
Sometimes I have to be able to weed out the bullshit. And so there are so many different opinions. And I think that when we drum our ears and we don't listen to some, you're going to be able to figure out authentic and inauthentic in a heartbeat. And so I always say, I encourage everybody, listen, not as gospel, but listen for the truth of where you are in your business and what really matters. That's what I meant by that for emphasis.
Good.
Don't listen and do.
Yeah.
Listen and weed out the bullshit.
That's right, guys. There's so much white noise, and that's one thing I try and practice and preach. Don't listen to the BS. You cannot have a positive mindset with a BS mindset. That's simple. One or the other. Positive, inspiring, and willing to learn and be coachable, or listen to all that drunk noise out there, right? So let's ask now, you've coached agents through multiple market shifts. In today's market specifically, what skills are making the biggest difference between agents who are growing and those who feel stuck? Yeah. Because right now there's a lot of stuck agents out there.
A lot of stuck. I think really primarily what you have done has gotten you where you are, and it will keep you where you are. So the biggest part is, guys, we've heard it so much. Has everybody heard about the focus on relationships? How important relationships are? Yes? Okay. Has everybody heard about how you must differentiate yourself inside of these markets? Yes? You must define your value. What does that mean? What does that mean? The agents that are really successful understand that there's not a bunch of new ways of doing this thing called real estate. Where success lives is being able to study your past, because your past is where both your mistakes and your successes live, and being a student of what you've done and not duplicating it if it's not working. But if often what we do, we'll start every year. Did everybody have a really phenomenal year last year? Everybody put your hand up. Come on now. Okay. Every single year you have a year, and then we start the next year, January 1st, and we go, oh man, what am I going to do? How am I going to do that again? I have no idea what worked and what didn't. Markets have shifted. And we go into that narrative inside of our brain rather than pausing and really studying. What were the behaviors? I always say, Daryl, I want my people to produce a result. Of course we do. We all want to produce a result, but you need to realize at a core level, the result is the one thing you cannot control. You can't force people to do business with you, but that doesn't mean take your eye off the result. It means the only thing we have control of is our behaviors. What is it that we're doing that's going to produce the result? Studying it and ensuring that the result never leaves our purview, but it's not what we give our energy to.
So remember, building relationships is first and probably foremost of what you can be doing. Everybody can do one sale, but unless you build a relationship along with that sale, you have no business that's moving forward. You know, you've done the one sale and then that's a past client. And we put her jacket somewhere there. These guys, I'm going to throw it on the floor. Just sit there. So it's important, relationships. If you guys hear me talking to the clients, it's like I've known them my whole life, and it's just like they're like family. And that's the way it's got to work. If it's not working that way, chances are you're not getting much business. Or if you do, it's little business and nothing moving forward. You know, how many times have we got referrals from a very happy client? You know, or we've done business like Jenna, we just sold her condo. So we've sold other properties for them. It was extended a month and a week because they couldn't get financing. And I had a great lawyer, Gary Shapiro. I'll give him credit. Gary, good job. He worked along with us, and we worked hard, and we made it close. It closed last Monday. So she got engaged. She's a Chinese lady, and I love her to death. I met her fiance. So I wish them the best luck. She said, now you got to sell my place, right? But if we didn't do a good job, that would have been it. She would have slammed the door. We're done. We're not going to talk to you anymore, right? So the relationship that you built is building more relationships and continuing. So especially in this market.
Well, and sometimes we struggle with what does relationship mean inside of business? What the heck does that mean? So I can make it really, really simple for you. Relationship-based business is the story of you. Right from the very first moment that you connect with a client, a lead, whatever it is, all the way along, you want to continue to write the story of you. Give them something to talk about. Give them an experience to talk about, the way you showed up. It doesn't begin and end with a transaction. It's everything leading up to. It's how you showed up inside of the transaction. And then you have to continue to add chapters after the transaction is complete. So relationship is continually adding the story of you, and the story of you is arming them with reasons to talk about you. Give them a reason to talk about you. And that has to come from a place of authenticity and true connection, whatever that means to you.
So I went to the Mayor Vaughn's luncheon, and it was sold out. So I went up and shook Stephen's hand. He's a good friend of mine. and he was happy that I showed up, and I went around, talked to a few people, and then I left. So the Richmond Hill had an event going on, so I went to their event. So one of the ladies that works with Richmond Hill, we got a picture there by the dessert thing, and because she did some other business with me before when I did Top $1 Million Agent. She used to be at Rogers, so she was involved with my TV show. So we end up taking a picture because she does work with Sophia and Oliver, who are down at R4. So we sent a picture to them. So she's super excited. So I was in the parking lot buying that cakes and that at Loblaws today. And I, hey, you're the real estate agent, Daryl King. So she used to be one of my cleaning ladies, right? She doesn't do the business anymore, but I wished her the best. So, and what I said to her yesterday, the lady that works at Richmond Hill now, I said, always leave, think of going to a beach with fresh water and you put your imprint with your bare feet and then you see your foot mark on the sand. Always leave that impression and a happy impression with anyone you meet. I met people 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I left such a good impression. They call me back and say, you left such an impression. We want to do business with you today. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about, relationships. Think of your relationship with your kids. It's good and bad, but have a relationship.
Yes. And footprints in the sand disappear with the tides in and out. Yes. So always remembering that you always want to make sure that you're keeping that impression, that footprint there by staying connected and being of value. Yeah.
Following up, follow up.
You bet.
You know, when agents say the market is tough, what do you believe they're actually struggling with beneath the surface?
A lack of process, lack of system, lack of skill. No matter what, guys, yes, markets have shifted, but we've got to change our mindset in the way that we engage with our interpretation of the market. And so when you sit back and you think the markets are tough, you just have to ask yourself, rather than allowing that into your vocabulary, instead, I want you to look at how many homes sold in the area that you serve. And how many of them are going to be yours? The rest of the noise that we make is creating an escape hatch out of your success. The moment that you say, oh, the markets are tough, you are literally allowing yourself to fail. The markets don't give it noise. How many houses sold? How many of them are going to be yours? And what do you need to do in order for that to be true? Right? That is honestly blinders on the rest of it, because the more negative narrative, you will always find what it is you're looking for, guys. If I was to sit down right now and type in, tell me 20 reasons the markets are tough, I could find 20 reasons.
Oh.
If I was to type in, tell me 20 reasons the markets are amazing, I could find 20 reasons. Our brain will always find what it is we're looking for. And ego wants us to enforce our false belief. So if you're saying markets are tough, then you're going to look for reasons to validate that. It's not denial. It's the way you show up mentally, because the way you show up mentally is really going to set the game.
Your law of attraction.
Yeah.
Be careful of what you think of. Everything you think about is a negative or a positive. So if you're saying the market is tough, you're feeding your brain that it's a tough market. So our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed, there's one right at the front here. That's all. Right here. Right at the very front. Come late and get a front row seat. Right? So the most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. That's from the great late Thomas Edison. Guys, we give up so many times so early that we never have a chance to succeed. And then we say, tough market. You know, they're not buying, they're just looking. If I did that for every sale, we've helped 17,000 families. So if I did that, I would never have done one sale. I take 10 no's, 15 no's. I don't care. You just got to keep moving forward. So and that's why we have great meetings like this, that we can come focus and listen to have Storm here. She gives it from a woman's perspective versus a man's. She's probably looking here. Right? So that's why I said about be careful who you're listening to, because the drunk noise out there is just, I got up early. I had a 9 o'clock appointment, and, I was reading some of the stuff out there. There was only 269 new homes sold in January. So that's 36% less than last January, but 80% less than the norm for the last 10 years. So that's a fact. So what you got to be bringing into that, what are you going to tell a buyer that wants to buy? So real estate is a long-term investment. In 2028, trust me, you won't look at this as a buyer's market. Those buyers are going to go to hands and knees and be pleading, come in, help her out. Those buyers are going to be pleading because in 2028, we're going to have a shortage of homes. The builders are not building now. Once this inventory is used up, and you're going to get your March and April crowd coming on there. But I'll tell you, once that inventory is eaten up with a lot of the desperate people, the market is going to start to change a lot more. So you need to pay attention to that. And that's what you got to be telling your purchasers that, yeah, is it the bottom right now? Well, it could be, and it may go down a little less, but it doesn't matter because if you hold it for 5 or 10 years, where's it going to be? Where's the market going to be in 5 or 10 years? A lot higher, right? So that
I love that you said that though, John, because that's such a powerful thing, guys. We have to think of ourselves as your responsibility is to be able to help people navigate, and the ability to do that lives inside of your questions that you ask the consumer. So often we'll get asked, is now the time to buy? And what's the answer to that? Hell yes. But the way we get to hell yes is different depending on how the human being at the other side of that answer is feeling. And so we've got to learn to ask different questions, you guys. And what you just said is absolutely correct, because you've got to think about the question isn't now the time to buy. They're nervous, they're anxious. Oh, I think my houses are going to go down by another 20 grand between now and the next 4 months. They're anxious, yes? So instead of trying to help them work around that, we have to ask questions that are going to bring them to their own answer. So let me ask you, how long are you planning on living in this house that you're about to buy?
Well, I'm going to be out there 5 or 10 years at least.
Yeah. So you know what? Daryl, anybody who walks into this room right now and would tell you that at any point ever, that you will purchase a home and you're not going to ever see downward pressure on prices, lying to you, don't hire them.
Exactly.
What I can tell you is that that's why you have me. Yes, you may see downward pressure on the value of your home within the first year that you own it. I will make sure that you are kept appraised. But if you're planning on holding it for 3 to 5 years, what is the problem right now? Guys, a gain or a loss is not realized till we lock it in. And we've got to help them understand that the downward drop that they may see is on paper only. It's on paper only, right? So if you're going to hold this investment, it's not going to matter. And inside of that, we've got this myth that we have built with consumer, and it's why consumer confidence is low and they're nervous that you're going to buy a house and it's just going to go up no matter what. I know the reason for that because that's kind of been what's happened, right? But we've moved into a more normalized, and I would encourage everybody in the room to study the 80s, to study the 90s, to study the early 2000s so that you can speak confidently to it, so that you know that you may see this happen inside of the time that you hold this investment. That's why you've got me.
So guys, so you see when I do my market sharing, that sometimes I'll go into a 10-year. So if you bought in 10 years ago, here's what the prices were. If you bought now, this is what the prices are. At 3 years ago, they were this. So a normal market would have went up from 3 to 8%. So up or down. Unfortunately, in 22, 23, the market went up 20 and 30%. Unrealistic. Yes. So the market now is doing a correction. It's not crashing. It's doing a correction because those prices should have never been there. So when the sellers are holding on to something, guys, that you bought at that time, or you didn't even buy, because I got guys, they bought at 504. Well, we could have got $2 million for the house. We're losing. What are you losing? You bought it for 500,000. You can still get 1.5 today. You're still making $1 million profit because there's no capital gains on a principal residence. So you need to understand that equation, that you can explain it to them properly. And you watch, the buyers of today that are not buying in 2026 are going to be, I could have had it this, I could have had it that. They missed the market. Because I'll tell you what, if they don't buy in 2026, by 2027, the market is going to start shifting the other way. I will guarantee that. It's right here. You can go back into this moment. And I can tell you right now that those smart buyers, right now, they could get the best deals. You know, they could get terms in favor of them. So go make that thing. You're not going to lose anything. Remember, not till you sell it. And real estate is long term, not like stocks, where stocks could be short term. Different mentality. They're not the same things. So you need to understand and explain to them that, as far as I'm concerned, real estate is by far the best solid investment that you're going to make in your life. And you need to believe in it, that you can portray that out to them, right? You bought your house how many years ago?
7.
And what's it worth today? How much profit, even with the market gone down?
About 525.
525,000 clear profit. So if she went and rented, let's say she paid even just $2,000 a month for small, okay? So she would have spent 200,000. What is it? Give me 7 times, what did you said, 7 years? Give me that. 365 times 2,000 a month. What's that number? I'm just doing calculate it for me quickly.
24,000 a year.
So she would have spent on rent minimum of $150,000. She's up 525 with the market even depreciated down. So it's a swing of $775,000. What are you guys bitching about? Right? That's how you have to explain it to them. If you show it in paper, you explain it to them, it becomes a lot clearer. But right now they just think, hey, I'm losing money. Because in the peak, you could have sold it probably for a couple $100,000 more than right now.
100%.
Right? So they're saying, I'm losing a couple $100,000. You never had the couple $100,000. You were living in the house. If you were renting, you were still down. So look for what's important.
Well, and I think when you buy the house, you have to act like an investor. Once they're in the house, you have to shift your mindset. When they're leaving the house at the end of the day, guys, we've got to make sure that they understand throughout that whole experience. Graph it out for them if you can, right? Does it take a little bit of extra work? But we really have to help them understand that $200,000 was never yours. A gain or a loss is not realized until you lock it in, right? And that vocabulary with them, but we don't want to get too much into the investing mentality for houses either, because we see people buying houses. Has anybody had a client? Your person buys a house and 6 months later, they're calling you saying, how much am I up by? Right? So we don't necessarily want that mentality going on either. But you've got to be able to have confident conversations. And confidence comes from a really strong understanding of the data.
Always watch the data every month. So Market Watch will come out next week. So I'll make a prediction. I believe the market will be down another 15% from last February. Would you say something like that? What would your prediction be?
Oh, I'm not making a prediction. I'll leave that to
Right.
Richard Robbins.
Good. I should call Richard now and ask him. But my belief is we're going to be down at least another 15%. We're down 16, 19% in January. We'll be down another 15. But watch March. And here's what I tell a lot of people, and I don't think people take much into this, but we've had a lot of snow. We've had a lot of cold.
Mhm.
And, you know, in some neighborhoods, like I say, my Mercedes the other day, me and Kay were running around and went over some snow banks, over like places weren't shoveled, and it's popped something in the car. So, you know, some of the roads are only like one lane and snow banks are like over your head. So if you're a buyer, do you really want to go out? Because you look at the cancellations on lots of showings. I know that they were booked and then they were canceled. So there's a shitty day. March is going to be a lot better weather. You know, you look at the snowbanks here, they're almost disappeared. Now up where I'm at, North Richmond Hill, they're still 6 or 7 feet high, right? So Friday is going to be 0%. So the snow is going to dissipate a lot. So you watch, March is going to be a lot better market. There'll be more activity coming. There'll be more homes coming. But for everybody on both sides, it's a bonus.
But the homes that come in March the work started to get those listings when?
90 days ago.
Right. So that's the thing is sometimes when we're in the situation that we're in right now, we get a little bit disheartened. You feel tired and you're like, man, I'm working my butt off here and I just can't seem to get anything to stick. And sometimes we go quiet because we don't know what more we can do. We don't want to be a pest. We don't want to be a pain in the butt. We don't want to be that realtor. You have to stay consistent in your communication and connection. Guys, it's still the number one complaint about us. You know that? The number one complaint about our industry is our communication, right? So don't allow the quietness to dissuade you from the connection. Stay in connection with these people.
Stay in the game, guys.
Yeah.
How many times have I told you guys back in November to touch base to your whole database, your sphere of influence, your database, and wish them happy holidays, whatever. Then in January to reach out to them again. And now you should be reaching out to them a third time already. So if you haven't, the first thing you guys need to do is you need to really reach out to everybody that you know, everybody, right? So you often say real growth starts outside of comfort. What are some of the uncomfortable but necessary actions agents need to take right now to stay relevant?
Well, I mean, I would say number one is connecting with your people, right? I hear so often, guys, I don't want to call people in my database. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to door knock. I'm not going to do this. All of the things that you say that you're not going to do are most likely the things that you need to be doing.
And who's doing it? The winners.
Right.
Like me.
Yeah.
Who was out door knocking yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got 3 good leads.
Yes. It's when you have resistance. So guys, I'm going to go a little bit more lifey here than business in this. When you resist something, do you know what that is? I want everybody to hear this. This is not about you. And the moment your narrative in your brain is, I don't like doing that. Oh, I don't want to do that. Who are you making it about? You. Right? And so the very first thing you've got to realize is that there's going to be moments inside of your business that are going to be uncomfortable. But if you know your value, are you the best bloody real estate agent for them to work with? If you don't believe that at your core, we need to have a deeper conversation. But beyond that, the client needs to know that, right? So I would say, what are you not doing? The things you are resisting the most, but I'm not a proponent for just call your database. Call with purposeful intent. Call with purposeful intent. And guys, what's purposeful intent? Purposeful intent is, what result do I want to produce as a result of these activities? If I don't know what my end game is, every single month is responsible for about 8.3% of your annual goal. So January, February, March, am I each month 8% of my revenue? Most likely not, but I better be at least 8% of my leads in, 8% of my conversations, 8% of my appointments each month. So purposeful intent is knowing I've got to put in the building blocks for my business. The activity that I'm doing right now, what result do I want to produce? I want to get 20 people into my database in 5 appointments, and then measure it. Give yourself a timeline, and then at the end of that timeline, ask the question, is that true? Did it happen? And if it didn't, it's okay. But we know what you did. We know what your assumption is.
Or what you didn't do.
Yeah, 100%, right? But you've got to map it out and be that tactical with it, right? You have to know, and you have to understand, as a result of this activity, what result am I wanting to produce? Then you have to let go of the result, focus on the activity, and then check in.
Right. So anytime, listen, if I go on an appointment, do I think I'm the person that they should hire? Everybody knows me here, right? What do you think I go, well, maybe I'll get this listing? I go in there knowing I'm going to get that listing. The listing is mine to take.
The listing is yours to lose.
That's right. So it's up to me. In reality, I take 92% of the listings I go on, and I get them on my commissions and my terms. And the difference is because I have that mindset and I do the qualifying and I have a purpose. So if I'm even out door knocking like we're yesterday, I had a purpose. So we got 3 solid leads, right? And a shitty day. Didn't matter. And I didn't have all day because I had to come and meet you. right? And that's good. I'm happy I met you, right? So the beautiful part is that opportunity is there every single day, but you got to go to the bed the night before thinking about my opportunities. What opportunities am I going to exercise for the next day? So I knew I had a listing appointment at 9 a.m. Now I've been working with that guy for a year and a half. And Rosa got involved also. I want to congratulate her because he absolutely loves her. She's got part of the listing. She phoned up the guy as many times as I did after, right? And so he loved her so much. So now she's part of the action. And she'll do the open houses there. So that's building up relationships. So what relationships are you not building? Because if you're not, someone else is. Remember that. Every time you do not talk to your sphere of influence and all your leads, someone like me is going to walk into that backyard and I'm going to just take it out of your hands like candy, right? So it's up to you to protect your assets. Totally. So trust feels harder to earn today with more informed and cautious clients. What skills help agents build credibility faster with buyers and sellers?
Truth.
Oh, man. Don't be a Pinocchio, right?
Truth.
Tell them what you mean by truth. Because I don't know if they're quite understand that concept.
Sometimes, guys, because, and you're right, we are at I was at an event in Halifax last month, and there was a gentleman that presented from stage. And one of the things that he says is we're actually in a trust crisis. Now, I'm not down the rabbit hole of that, but with AI and video and all of the different things that we can do now, it actually has caused on the consumer side of things for there to be a real lack of trust, for people not being willing to take a stand for what it is that you believe in. Guys, listen, here's the thing. In real estate, everybody's going to have to work with an asshole or two, yes? But here's the thing. Assholes refer assholes. People who don't see your value and are going to grind you on your commission are going to refer you to. So truth lives inside of honestly knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, the truth of the markets, and being able to navigate speaking that to the client. Sometimes I want to list my house for 1.5, Daryl. I know I can get 1.5. And right now, fair market value is 1. What's the truth in that? What's the truth in that? And how do you help them discover the truth?
So the problem is most of the agents will take any listing at any terms or any conditions just because they want to get a listing. Okay?
Be the agent they run to, not the agent they run from.
So those people, how many times do we pick up properties that we went there, we told them the truth, agents went in and told them Pinocchio, they listened with those people, and we got them back. The one on Elgin Mills is my past clients. Now, unfortunately, the father passed away, and the son, who was my client, his sister wanted to go with her friend. So we went over there. Forget who was with me. That when Eva, were you with me? We went there to go listen. The other sister was there, and my other clients weren't there. Did all the preparation, got it priced, everything, and then the sister went with her friend. Didn't sell. So I still was rapport with the brother. So they fired that person after 6 or 7 months or whatever it was. They hired us back. We sold in 18 days. So because I told them the truth, and they know if I sold this place last time and expired 3 times, I sold in 30 days, that he already knows whatever I say is going to happen. So make sure that you do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
Price it right. How long is it going to take to sell? Well, if you price it up to here, never. That's simple. Like you know how many times I turn down listings? Every day I turn down listings. Every day. So what is their motivation? Because if they got no motivation, they're going to be priced up to here. And then they're going to be bugging you weekly. Why aren't you selling the property? They're going to blame you. So you're going to look bad. So you're going to make that decision, whether I take it or I don't. She said about there's lots of assholes out there. So this is why I always say to Tracy and I tell you guys, 5% of your business are going to be the monkeys. So if you do enough business, you don't have to work with those monkeys, right? So 95% of the people we deal with, God bless, I love them to death. I'll go 10,000 miles to help them out. But that 5% will take 95% of your energy and they'll suck you like a vampire, just like grab on it, right? And you're like this, you go to the end of the day and you're like, you know, times I've gone home and I just been like this because we can tell you who those clients were that we were talking to, right? Like I talked to them and it's like just over and over and over. And and you got to be able to relate.
Well, and so many people would say confidence, yes? Confidence. But confidence is an action word. The reason that there's confidence is because done it enough times, said it enough times, experienced it enough times, had the courage to walk away enough times, had the courage to take a stand. So sometimes we think that the reason that I'm not going to do that, or I won't say that, or I don't know how to handle that is lack of confidence. But remember, guys, confidence is like a muscle, yes? You've got to do over and over and over repetitively in order to build that muscle. So the first time that you say no to a listing, you're going to feel like you're going to want to throw up. You're going to get in your car. You're going to doubt your decision. You're going to think, what am I doing? I need the money. I've got bills to pay. All of those things that are going to go through your head. But when you then do that a number of times and you really have the benchmark of what happened afterwards, confidence will grow in your ability to make decisions and see things clearly. And that's where you're respecting the industry. I don't give a shit if you like me. If we end up liking each other, that actually, guys, is the icing on my cake. It's way more important that you respect me. It's way more important. That, to me, trumps everything. And in our industry, Trump. Everybody says, oh, well, the client really liked me. How many times have you gotten the call? We really liked you, but we've decided to go with someone
Joe
else.
Blow.
Right? So our goal can't be for them to like us. Our goal must be for them to respect us. And we can't get respect if we don't give it to ourselves first.
We have to be the authority in the marketplace. We are the leaders in the industry. We have to lead by example and we have to go the extra mile every time. So I can't tell you, listen, I've been working 12-hour days and I have a choice. I can work a little bit, get a little bit, or why it's a little more challenging. And, you know, everybody, she said, why didn't I go to R4 in Vegas and go get my award and party and listen to some great speakers? Because I already booked to have you here and I want to be here to lead you guys by example, because there isn't anything I don't tell you to do that I won't do, right? You know, I got these guys, Richard Robbins and Storm and them, that I can go listen to one of their podcasts or call them up or go be coached and get help from them. You know, every year, what's the big one with
Masters Academy?
So that's in November. I've been going that every year. Even then, I'm going away sometimes. Last minute, you hooked me up this year, right? So I never, ever, ever want to miss that because that's one of the highlights of my year. A lot of great other agents in the peer that I know, Richard and his whole crew, Storm, that I can always learn. Those people I want to learn from, right? So, and that's why I say be careful who you listen to. So they had something here. What is the difference between doing and leverage? Right?
Yes.
That's the one you want it to be asked? You ready for that one? All right, good.
So what's doing, guys? What's doing?
Someone tell her.
Right?
Tell her what you're doing.
What's a doing? Hey, yeah. What else?
What?
When you think about a doing is, okay, I'm going to call my database. I'm going to door knock. I'm going to do all of the activities are the doing. Yes. Doing is where the burnout lives. Instead, I want there to be leverage. And it kind of ties back to what I said earlier. Doing is the activity. Leverage is understanding. If I'm going to invest my time, what result do I want to produce? Can I give an example of this?
Of course.
Okay. Who here has been doing open houses and not producing a result? You're not getting buyer leads from it. You're really, really struggling. Yes? I want to ask you a question.
Guys, you guys should put your hand up because some of you are not getting results from it. Because this is what I want you to understand. Listen, every time I did an open house, I've always did a sale, whether a listing, a buyer, something come out of it from doing that open house. You guys are not getting those results. There's a direct correlation to what she wants to say. I want you to listen to this very, very carefully, because this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. You should be lining up. You should say, I want to do an open house. There should be a lineup. So then it's my onus to try and go get more listings for you guys to go do open houses. But we have to go chase some of you guys to go do an open house. That's an oxymoron. So doing an open house right now is probably the number one thing that you can go to go get business from.
Doing an open house, leveraging an open house. How many open houses are you going to do this year? Don't name it, claim it, decide. Write it down. Make it happen. Time is your greatest asset. If you were paying you, would you keep you hired? And you see, when there's that pain of that exchange, you're going to figure out a way. You're going to get creative. You're going to discover, you're going to do those extra things that are going to lead to more people through your open house and a result produced. You must make it a non-negotiable, because that's leverage. Doing an open house, leveraging an open house. Every single open house I do, I am getting at least one buyer and one listing. Now, what do I need to do in order for that to be true? I'm not going to blow in 15 minutes before the open house, throw out my signs, and knock a couple neighbors' doors. I'm going to be really strategic. I'm going to study, where are my buyers coming from? Who are my buyers in this market? And usually within 15 minutes of the neighborhood where my open house is where my buyers live. So I'm going to go invite all of those people to my open house the day before. I'm going to give them time. Leverage. I want people there. I don't want to go and fill a seat. I'm going there to grow my business, and nothing else other than that is acceptable. And is every open house am I going to have full of people, guys? Every open house, is that going to happen? No, but I'll tell you what, the pain of it not happening 2 or 3 times, if I were paying somebody or pulling that money out of my account, is going to force me to get creative. But because all we're doing is donating our time and we're just showing up and people don't go to open houses, there's nobody there, it's simply not true. It happens before, during, and after. So you get creative. How many open houses are you going to do? Don't play small. Name it and claim it. What result are you going to produce as a result of the open houses? So I'm going to do 40 open houses between now and the end of the year. From those 40 open houses, I'm going to pull how many ends, how many buyers, how many new people into your ecosystem so that you can nurture them and continue to move them along in the process.
Dress for success, show up. If anyone does, though, sometimes I'll do open houses with the new team members. If no one's there, guess what? I'm out on the street, walking the street, talking to the neighbors. I don't care what the weather's like. Bad weather, I'm still out there, because they'll stop and they'll talk to me. And if they think that this guy is in this shitty weather, 3 feet of snow, still doing his open house, walking the street, trying to talk to the neighbors, when it's time that I know somebody, you know what? This Daryl King guy, man, he's good. Call him. You know how many times that happens? Because they see me when no one else is around. When I was doing them open house in December, there wasn't a sign in sight. Ours was the only sign. Did we get a lot of people? No. But the people we got, I'll be following up with them now. They're going to be ready, right? Old Bayview is one of the listings. You know, I can name some of the listings. They're sold, most of them. So, you know, those guys want to buy something, and some of them did buy something. So it's taking action and continue to follow up. Every time I get a new listing, I make sure they're on the database, send them the new listings, call them up. How often are you guys doing that?
Making it a priority and honestly non-negotiable. And it's such power.
Non-negotiable. I love that.
When I know what result I want my activities to produce, I never get discouraged. I don't get bummed out. If you were to call Rich right now and Sue, they would tell you that I'm an eternal optimist, but it's not necessarily that. It's that I understand clearly when I'm going sideways. If something I'm doing is not working, then I know what I'm missing is leverage. right? And so it's just redirecting when you name it and claim it. But so often we're afraid to say it out loud because we think that, oh, if I say I'm going to do 30 open houses and I don't, I failed. Well, you know what? I want to flip the script on what you think about failure. The fact that you failed tells me you have courage. You cannot fail if you didn't have courage to go out and do the thing, right? So failure is only failure when we repeatedly do it and we don't learn from it. But if you do not know what you want your activities to produce, man, are you tired? How many times do you go home at the end of the day and say, oh, I did all this stuff, nothing's working? But what result did you want to produce? And did your communication, did your collateral, did your connections merit that result?
So here's a good measure, because the problem is most agents are doing nothing right now. Like, they're not getting out of bed, they're not prospecting, they're not following up with their database, they're not emailing, they're not sending, text messages. They're just become invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You can never score unless you take a shot. It's impossible. Nobody on this planet, unless it's one of your relatives, may call you up and say, can you sell my house? But I know if I have a relative and they're not really doing any business. I went to the Mercedes other dealers the other day and I ran into one of my good school buddies I played hockey with. Right now, they have a condo right there at 29 Northern Heights. So they had it with the uncle. Nothing's happened. He said, I'm going to talk to my brother tonight. Hopefully, we're going to get you this listing by the end of this week. But I wore my pin. I went to the Mercedes dealership. I hadn't been there in 2 years. I went to another one. The owner was there. Everybody, it was like a celebrity walking into this dealership under construction. I talked to everybody. Given that I only had a few cards right there. And, when I go back up, I'm going to make a lot of big noise and I'll do a video when I'm there. But being on purpose and expecting something. So I went to this event yesterday in Richmond Hill. The lady's got her house on the market. She is so unhappy with the agent. I called Eva when I was there. I got her number and the address. And so I'll follow up with her later on today or tomorrow. Right? So if it doesn't sell, guess who will get the listing? We will. But I always go everywhere with on purpose. Listen, I tried to go to the mayor's lunch. I couldn't get in. Oh, I got in, went and said hi to a bunch of people, went and took a picture with the mayor because he's going to be on our show here. Right? So, he was so happy to see me. And I said, I'm happy to see you, but I didn't tell him I'm not staying. But he knows I was there. Right? So I had a purpose. Eva was laughing her guts out. Right? I went to 2 events in one day. 3 events, if you want to count the Mercedes dealership. Right? So there's so much more you can do every day, but you're not, it's like you go to the ocean, you put your toe in the water, and that's it. You stop. You freeze. You got to dive in, guys, full out. Just what's going to happen if you do? You're going to start to swim because you're going to drown if you don't. Right?
Well, and the big part is too, you think about relationship. So we know this side, guys. We're on this side of the screen, right? We all know we're all different. We know how hard we work. We know the conversations that are had. We know because we're on this side. But we have to remember that perception is 9/10 of the law. So it's the consumer side of things, yes? So when we're talking about the importance of relationship, when you dip in and dip out and you're not consistent in the way you show up for your people, whether that's a lead all the way through, when you show up, get the business and leave and they never hear from you again, and then you dip your toes back in 5 years later and say, hey, I'm still here. All that you're saying to your people is you're hurting your relationships because you're saying you only matter to me when there's something in it for me. I'm only going to reach out to you when I need something. I'll use a really archaic example of this, door knocking. We go great guns, we go door knocking, and then we get a couple of listings or we pull some business out of it and we disappear. We stop doing all of the things that we did in order for the result to come. And then after the listing sell or after the business is gone, what do we end up doing? Going back to the door knocking. What message are we sending to the consumer? I only care about you when there's something in it for me. So it has to be consistency, guys. You have to map it out. You have to decide, what am I committed to doing? And if you're committed to door knocking, then you have to say, when am I going? How often am I going? And I really don't get mad at me. It makes me, I'm always nervous because I never know. Okay, so I'm not a how
Storm,
many,
I love you to death. You say what you want because that's why you're here. Because the great thing about great minds and great leaders, they have different ideas. And that's why I call it sharing of the mindsets. So I have great thoughts. She has great thoughts. And the beautiful part is you're going to get double the thoughts. So you can get double the notes.
Yeah. Well, then we may agree on this, but door knocking, guys, the doing is I'm going to knock 50 doors. That's doing. Whoopee. So your knuckles are going to bleed, your hands are going to be sore, and you're going to feel defeated. You knocked 50 doors. Yay. Instead, I want you to decide, how many conversations are you having today? How many real estate conversations are you having today? Period. And if you go in and you knock doors and you have 3 conversations and 5 doors, yay, you don't need to knock the rest. You instead, it's the result, right? Knocking doors without having an understanding of what is it that I want to do. And you've got to think about it this way as well. Why do we knock doors? What is our hope when we knock doors? Well, typically one of 2 things. Please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't answer. Or we want them to answer. But our intention.
I go crazy if they don't answer. I want to talk to everybody.
Because they've got cameras now, right? But when you think about the reason we knock doors is because we're trying to get access to the person who lives in that house. Yes? But the person who lives in that house, we walk past in the local businesses all day long. They're in the hardware stores, they're in the pet shops, they're in the restaurants, they're in the coffee shops. Those same people who live behind those doors are frequently out in the community. If you're shy and nervous, wear your Remax brand. Guys, everybody says brand doesn't matter. It does. Brand matters in this sense. If I'm wearing a not well-known realty brand and nobody recognizes it, it's not a conversation starter. You wear Remax, and I wouldn't just wear a pin. If you're not a great conversation starter, man, I'd be branded with a big hoodie, something that shows Remax. And I would be.
You guys need your Daryl King pin on.
Yeah.
Who's got their Daryl King pin on right now?
Out in.
So here's what hold on, just one thing. Take their names, they get a lead. The other guys, you guys know you're supposed to wear it every freaking time. So it's bullshit. Guys, quit being diarrhea. How many times? Rose, stand up. Who else? Who else? Who else? Stand up. Stand up. I want to see you. So each one of you guys are going to get a lead from me personally. Okay? So, guys, I have told you 100 times, do not go anywhere, especially to a meeting, without your Nell and your pin. You know how many times I get listings because of my, yesterday someone was talking about this and then they went to my ring because they match. So did I get something? No, but I will. So the guys were at my table and they started talking about it, right? It's always an opener.
But it always starts with a conversation. If you're not having the conversation.
Give them a hand.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're nervous about it, just go hang out where the people are. Just go hang out where the people behind the doors are. Go to that local coffee shop, not the big one. Stay away from the Starbucks and Timmy's. Go there. But in this effort, most of the people does anybody follow we've got nothing. Belvedere restaurant. Anybody know what it is? Anybody at all? No? Do you know why I know what it is? Because it's in my community. So the people that follow those small little local businesses in their community are who? Are the people who live there. The people who are following those businesses are those same people who live behind that door. So why am I not out there getting to know the people who live behind the doors? We complicate it so much, guys. If your goal every day was to have a minimum of 5 real estate conversations, and from that, a minimum of 2 of those conversations added to your database, your ecosystem, so you can continue to communicate with them, your business will shift so massively. But when we go out and we're asking, I'm sorry, I'm going on, but when we
I want you to go on. This is what they want to hear.
You walk up.
Do you want to go on?
How many? How many of you will say, okay, let's use door knocking as an example. Oh, this bothers me. Okay, so if I can get something from more than 3 people as a consumer, if I can get access to something from more than 3 people, it becomes a commodity. When something is a commodity, it doesn't breed loyalty or advocacy. So when we are all showing up offering the same things, we in our efforts become a commodity. An example would be when you're knocking on a door, let's do it just listen. I just don't know, I'm a neighbor, I was a realtor in your neighborhood.
You are?
Thought I would drop by and introduce myself.
Thank you.
Well, who do you know at home right now who's sitting saying, geez, I cannot wait till a realtor shows up at my door and introduces himself? Nobody. We feel awkward in it. And then we'll say something along the lines of, I don't know if you know or not, 123 Main Street sold recently. If you're interested in learning what it sold for, I'd be happy to send you that information. And I can keep you up to date on what's going in the local area. That's our approach, yes? And most of the time, what do they say? Oh, no, that's okay. No, thank you. No, thank you. And even if they say yes, because they don't know how to say no, they're not our people. You haven't made them excited. I don't want to engage with you. And I can get that shit anywhere. It's not your differentiator. Instead, you know what? I freaking love this community, man. I pinch myself all day long. I cannot believe I get to help people move here. As a result of that, I am sending out information about this community all day long. I know you would find value in it. What's your email address? I'll make sure you get a copy of it. If you ask them if they want it, they're going to say no, and you haven't made me excited about
Guys,
it.
value. What is your value? Bring value to the table. They're going to talk. Listen, I go anywhere. Most people recognize wherever I go. So everybody wants to talk to me. You wear your pins, they're going to want to talk to you without a shadow of a doubt. So you need to sort of know what's going on. I don't like to listen to the news, but I need to know what's going on for I can have a conversation with these people of what's going on, what's not going on. But if it's real estate, let's go. Let's go to the dance floor, baby. You know, I want to do that song with our pit today. I'm gonna go to do this little thing here. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't know the footwork, but it's what's trending right now. So I told our pit yesterday, next time we have a meeting, we're gonna get up here, we're gonna do that dance for you guys, right? I'm crazy enough and I love to stand out. So we're gonna do it. And I know he's gonna do it because he likes to dance too. So eventually we'll get the whole office. We'll go out into the lobby and we'll do the whole office and we'll do the dance. You know how powerful that'll be, right? If you ever went to their thing, my good friend Mary Roy, she's always got up on the stage and does a little dance, right? I got up there with her this year myself, right? But where do you stand out? Where's your value that you have? So the client that we're listing his house, this guy is a very famous in the Persian community Botox skin clinic. So you know what I said to him? I said, I want $500 from you. So I'm going to get a $500 certificate and I'm going to give it to the cooperating broker as a bonus. So you can get Botox, you can go get a little tuck, whatever 500 bucks covers. I'm going to give it to the buyer, its agent, as a way of saying thank you. And he'll say thanks, right?
Yeah, and you have to remember as well, guys, sometimes when we lose our way in connection, does anybody really struggle with like, how do I stay connected? How do I bring value? Right? What does that mean? Who here in this room is a homeowner? So I want you to ask yourself a question. As a homeowner, what would you find valuable that could come to you monthly that you would keep or hold on to? And it's not always market information, yes? If I just bought my house, market information in that is noise. 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, I might be curious, but in between, how do we stay connected? As a homeowner, ask yourself that question. What would you find valuable? Are there a lot of dogs in the area? Maybe it's a dog biscuit.
After COVID, there's a million dogs. Everybody's got a dog.
Think about the homeowners. What would they find valuable? Because if I was doing a leave behind right now, I'd have it branded Okay. On one side, I would have an emergency electrician that's on call 24 hours, an emergency plumber that's on call 24
We
hours,
have all that.
an emergency vet number, 4 things on and leave that at the door. They're going to keep that because that's relevant to a homeowner, right? So it's transitioning. We're not MLS pimps. We're so much more than that. Our knowledge and what we bring to the table is so much more than that. But the average consumer doesn't know that you can help them if they're thinking about renovating, that you can advise them about where the biggest bang for their buck is.
Mortgages.
Yes, they don't know. So we have to let them know.
You know, everything you ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. So, guys, everybody has a fear. Everything you ever wanted is on that other side of that fear. And Kay will tell you, we were out for a long time and I had to be here for 1 o'clock to meet somebody. And I said, I kept pushing. I want to go another door. I want to go another door. So I said, everybody gives up way too soon. It's like you're digging for gold. 3 feet away is your pay dirt, but everybody gave up. So the very last door I went to is my biggest pay win from yesterday. We're going to list her house. I will put a wager on that I list her house. But 99% of all the other agents would have left before they got, like a few doors back before they got there. But I said, no, I have a few more that I want to do, and I'm not going to quit till it's done. So everybody gives up way too early. And just on the other side of your fear is your biggest win. So you got to know, what is your biggest fear? And a lot of people just talking to people. Guys, if you don't talk to people, how are you going to sell them anything, buy them anything, purchase anything, invest in anything? You need to make sure, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you need to come out of if you're an introvert, you need to get out and be an extrovert for a little while, right? You were introverted at one time? I didn't think so. Do you think she's an orange? Right? Yeah. 2 oranges right here side by side, right? I love her.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing. Strength lives inside of the quiet silence. And what do I mean by that? The quiet silence is understanding that fear is just part of life. The absence, what is fear? Ego. And to be human being, we all have egos. There's no such thing as ego-free. And ego's responsibility is to protect us. So the moment our neurotransmitters start firing off and saying, oh, our ego comes in and goes, I'm not going to do that. I need to protect myself. So when you say life begins at the end of your comfort zone, when you step beyond that, every single time you do that, guys, and you champion yourself, it's not going to go perfectly always, but what ends up happening, I go back to it all the time, it builds that muscle, right? That muscle of confidence. I love fear, man. I say I eat fear for breakfast all day long. I actually get up every day looking to do something, to bring something into my world that scares the living shit out of me.
Eat the frog first, guys. You know the book. Eat the frog first. Eat the thing you don't want to do that first, and everything else becomes easy after that.
And ask yourself questions, right? They don't want to hear from me. I want you to ask yourself, is that true? Is that true? They don't want to hear from you. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Is that true? When you pause and you check in and you ask that question, you're going to realize it's not, but it's stopping you. It's not easy, but it's not complicated.
Challenge your fears every single day. So you need to challenge yourself every single day. You need to get out of your comfort zone. As I tell you guys, my job is to get you out of your comfort zone. The more I allow you into your comfort zone, I'm going to get up at 9 o'clock and then I'm going to have some breakfast and I'm going to maybe watch some breakfast television and then maybe go to the office maybe at 12, I'll do some social media stuff and I'll go home by, 4 o'clock to get ready for dinner. And they got nothing accomplished. Remember, she said, have a purpose. What is my purpose for that day? So every day you need to have a purpose. So the question when I've asked her in uncertain markets, because now there's less sales, so your confidence level goes down lower, right? Mine just goes higher because I know nobody else is doing anything. I said to the guy today, I said, I sold 4 houses in the last 6 months. There's no other agent that sold more than 1. We sold 4. Where do you think you're going to get the best results? That's confidence. But if I haven't sold anything, because I remember some person said, "Oh, what did you sell?" But they were asking them directly. But if they had the team, we sold 435 sales. So remember, you guys are a team. So you need to have that confidence. So let's go answer that question for them. In uncertain markets, confidence can feel fragile. Who feels fragile right now in this marketplace? Almost everybody does, right? So what internal skills help agents stay grounded when external conditions feel unpredictable? And this is where you guys are with great coaching, right?
Well, I would say it's about setting up success, as Rich always says, is repetitive boredom. And so it's setting up a process. We must remember we are mind, body, spirit. And so you have to have things in play, guys, where it's structure. So I'll give you an example, and I hope this doesn't come across braggy, but it's how I keep my sanity.
Right, it's good.
I am up at 4:30 every single morning. Okay. I get up, I meditate. 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm downstairs in my basement working out. 6 o'clock, I'm at my computer. 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I have probably sent more communications, emails, things that don't require or elicit a time frame or.
What time was that? 4 o'clock?
I'm up at
no,
that's 6 to 8.
No, I'm saying, guys, this is 8 o'clock
structure-
in the morning, and she's already done
Yeah.
3 hours of work.
But the structure of it, guys, is where confidence lives. Why? Because sometimes when we get stuck, we go, oh man, the market's the market. You've got all this different narrative. Well, in our world, what happens when the markets are struggling is that we are a coaching company. So real estate agents are like, oh, I don't know if I want to invest that money in coaching. There's a nervousness, there's an anxiety. And so if that was the primary focus, if I've got to convert, I'd go bonkers. So structuring on what are the activities, the daily activities, small, consistent actions lead to big change. Right. So for yourself, if you don't have confidence in the activities, have confidence the activities are going to lead somewhere. Set yourself a routine, but start small. Don't do it every single day, but make a commitment. Right now, if you get up at 9, make a commitment that one day a week, just one, you're going to get up at 5. And then how are you feeding your mind? I always use this as an example, and it's a silly example, but it's where this thing is our hard drive, guys. It really is. And when you think about 2 different examples, I can get up and I can leave from my house, drive on the same road, in the same car, same weather, everything exactly the same 2 days in a row, going to the same destination. One day somebody cuts me off, and I'm like, God bless you. The next day, someone cuts me off and I'm plotting how to kill their spouse. What is the difference in those 2 days? Right? How did I feel my brain? And
it started the night before. I'll tell you where it started the night before.
And when you're in struggle, when you don't have confidence, remember, guys, confidence is an action word. And so have confidence that if you continue forward momentum, it's going to lead somewhere. Have confidence. Rich says all of the time, what we measure, we can improve, yes, but we cannot measure what we cannot see. So when you have a routine and it doesn't produce a result, it's easy to go back to the routine and see what it is we need to change. So set yourself up so that you feel that you're doing something to move yourself forward always, right? And then you have to study it. May I give another example? Another example of this, guys, is, has everybody heard of Mount Everest?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that little mountain just on the other side of the equation there.
Mount Everest is one of the most challenged mountains in the world.
A lot of people die there.
They sure do.
At least they're trying.
When you think of Mount Everest, guys, so I decide today, I want to climb Mount Everest. What am I going to do? I'm going to study. I'm going to train. I'm going to talk to other people who've done it before me. I'm going to do absolutely everything that I can, because when you're going to climb Mount Everest, my goal isn't to get halfway up. Fair? My goal is to hit the summit. My goal is to hit the summit. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do every single thing to prepare. But the moment, no matter how much I prepare, the moment my feet hit the bottom of that mountain, everything was an assumption. Everything was a hallucination. So does anybody know how many main base camps Everest has? They've got 4 main really big check-in points. Why is that?
And that's way down at the base.
Yeah.
Before They do all the preparation, because I'll tell you what, if I just thought, even when I was a full-fledged athlete and I just thought I could go there and go climb that mountain, my chances of making it are probably 1%.
Well, the mountain is littered with those who assume that they
Exactly.
can and charge ahead, right? The base camps are there, guys, because when I hit the bottom of the mountain, the assumption is base camp number 1. I thought that these boots would keep my feet comfortable. I thought this coat would keep me warm. I thought that my intake of this food was going to keep my body strong. Is that true? If it's not true, I take all of my assumptions, I change out what needs to be changed out, and I continue my journey to base camp number 2 because my goal is the summit. Make sense? So in real estate, guys, what is our summit of our mountain every single year? Your gross commission, man. How much money do you want to earn? That is the summit of your mountain. But here's what we do. We start every year and we just charge up the mountain. We don't check in. We don't do anything. And there's dead bodies littered all over the mountain, right? So isn't it funny that the biggest, most challenged mountain in the world has 4 main base camps? And so does a year.
4 quarters.
4 quarters. So when you set your intention, your summit, you make that a non-freaking negotiable, man. I'm getting there no matter what. My hallucination is if I do these things, it's going to produce this result. When you get to the end, you're going to be checking in monthly, but you do a massive audit at the end of every 90 days. Is this true? What do I need to change out? You don't want to change out too often. You want to measure it. But if you change out, it takes 90 days for an activity to start producing. So the reason we do 90 days, not every 30, review every 30, but 90 days, decide what little pieces you're going to pull out and put in, and then continue. But instead, we cross off the summit and we settle for halfway up, man. We cross out the summit and we'll say things like, oh, well, you know, buyers are liars. Oh, well, the markets, oh, interest rates. And while all of those factors are true, don't make not hitting your summit. Make it a non-negotiable. Base camp out your business. Every quarter, check in and review. But you cannot measure what you cannot see. So you've got to write your intention. How many open houses? How many leads are you going to generate? More importantly,
how many door knockings are you going to do in the year?
Yes. Right. And then, because those are the things that are going to lead to more and more and more. And then, is it true?
So what I talk to them about, and probably you and Rich talk about all the time, is consistency. The number one thing is work. I will outwork anybody or all of the accumulation almost of everybody in this room. Okay. But you need to be consistent. You can't do it one day. You can't do it 2 days. You can't do it 3 days. You can't do it 4 days. You need to do it every single day. Yeah, my Sundays may be off. My Mondays may be off. That's okay. They're your booked off time. That's still your consistency. The biggest failure for anybody in business of any type is the inconsistency of being inconsistent.
Yes.
As she said, she trains that muscle. She fails, she still trains that muscle. Every time she fails, that muscle gets tougher. So next time, she's just going to go, if that's the thing, she's just going to go like this. Bash. It just crashed through it because she's trained her muscles to like she can crash through anything. So by the consistency, I used to take 99 no's to get to one yes when I started this business.
Yes.
99 no's. And 11 o'clock at night, sometimes I'll be calling people. And I say, guess what? You're number 99. Are you going to be the one? They go, what are you talking about? I said, I got a goal to talk to 100 people. My name is Daryl King. Right? This is when I first started the business. I didn't have any training in anything. I didn't have no scripts. I just did my own script. And I just looked for that one yes. Remember she said about door knocking, about open houses. What are your goals? What are you're looking for? I only looked for one yes every single day. And in 1998, I was awarded the #1 real estate in all North America. I was making 19 contacts to one sale. Everybody pronounce that. 19 contacts, one sale. Think of you can't even make 19 contacts and get one lead. Right? So there's a direct correlation in believing, consistency,
Yes.
and doing. Right? So what made me become number one in all North America? Well, the fact that Matt Ferry wanted to embarrass the shit out of me. He wanted me to eat cat food in front of a stage of 5,000 people if I didn't do certain things. And if anyone knows my ego, there's no way. I hate cat food. I never liked the taste of it. Right? I really didn't. I had cats, so I can tell you I did not really like the taste of cat food. So the fact that I hated the taste of it so much, and then getting it up in front of 5,000 people with a can of cat food and saying, I love cat food, I lost my bet. There's no way that was going to happen. So to avoid pain, I had a ton of other pain and commitment to avoid that pain. So are you avoiding pain? Some people go for gain. Some people do it for avoiding pain. What is your motivation to turn your crank? Does anyone know? Because you're one or the other. Candace, what drives you? Pain or gain? Gain. Gain? Gain or pain? Pain? Gain. Nick? Diane? So it's gain. Maniba. See, funny thing is, most people are going to say gain, but a lot more of you are pain. I'm going to tell you that right now, and she'll tell you that. As a coach, she'll tell you that. Most of you, 90% of people will say gain, but I'll tell you what, it's running more 50-50, believe it or not, maybe 60-40, that people will avoid pain. And avoiding pain is not getting out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. The avoiding pain is not making 400 or how many contacts by 8 o'clock?
Well, no, it's hours.
Huh?
It depends day to day.
No, but
This
roughly
morning it was 132.
132 contacts before 8 o'clock. But what did you do? You got up and meditated. Who got up and meditated this morning? 1, 2, 3, or a handful. Good.
Move the body.
Move the body.
Yeah.
Get shaking, get dancing, right? What's that, Cyrus?
Shoveling. That's moving the body.
That's A. Cyrus, that's good exercise. Good way to get a heart attack too. But.
Yeah.
And what else?
And then to my computer.
And then to our computer. Guys, I do more by 8 o'clock in the morning than most of you guys do all day.
But you know what?
And so does she.
It's so beautiful though, because honestly, when you think about if I'm making phone calls, I'm not doing that at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes. But if there's follow-up that I need to do and follow through that I need to do, shooting off a text, shooting off an email, recording a video, I can do all of those things, guys, and then I can program it. So I'm not going to send a text to a client in Western Canada to go out at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I can get all the content ready, set it up on my phone, and out it goes at their time, right? So it's really that proactive. Remember we talked about confidence? I know for a fact that all of those activities that I did will lead to, right? So that's where confidence lives. But it's really about mapping, like really mapping it out. That's not going to be the path for everybody. It's not going to be the path for everybody. And that has been a slow build, right? But success leaves clues, man.
Oh, guys, everybody write that down. Success leaves clues. The reason you're with the Daryl King team is you have lots of success stories that are leaving clues. Problem is you're not picking them up, right? I go to Richard Robbins, and I'll call you as Richard Robbins. These guys always have stories. If you go to any of the events, there's story after story after story of different people, right? So you always want to build up your stories every single day. Do you think I go to any client's place, I don't have a story to tell? Guys, do you think if I go somewhere, I don't have a story to tell? You don't think I have a story?
You always have a story.
Guys, I always make sure I could tell 10, 20 stories. I could go do a presentation in front of 10,000 people without doing anything and go do a half-day seminar. because I have enough knowledge and skills and I'm not shy to do it. But really, the way would be prepare. So always be prepared, right? I remember when we went to Boy Scouts, we had to be prepared. They teached us to do certain things to do for survival camps and stuff like that. You know, you go to do that mountain, there's 4 base camps. But even before you get there, they have other things they want you to follow and train. So what are we doing to improve our skills every day?
Well, and learning from each other. I always say one of the things that I love about Richard Robbins International, not just the principles by which we stand by and the people who lead us in our company, but we have the privilege, guys. Our superpower as an organization is we have the privilege of working with some of the most incredible, collaborative human beings you will ever meet in your life. And they are just so want to lift each other up and support each other. And even though you will have people at different stages in their business that are doing phenomenal things, they're always looking to learn. They're always looking to share. They're always looking to contribute. So for you guys have a beautiful community here with each other. And I can guarantee you there's not a road that anybody in this room is going to walk that somebody hasn't walked before you. And so really being willing to learn from each other and share with each other is incredibly powerful. The true consummate professionals that I know in this industry understand that collaboration is your competitive advantage because we get to learn from each other. And what do they say? High tides raise all ships, right? So the more that we elevate each other in this industry, and it's what I love about what it is that we do. It's what I love about Richard Robbins International as a human being in Stu. It's what I love about our people is it's consistent, small, consistent actions. And then how do we tweak it and improve it? An idea birthed is the beginning. And there's been a lot of ideas and different strategies birthed inside of our industry. So instead of always looking for something new or different,
The gold nugget.
look
That's
at
what we
the
talked
idea.
about earlier.
Look at the ideas that have already come before you and ask yourself, how can I take that and morph that? How do I tweak that just a little bit? How do I take something that's already left success bombs all along the journey and make it mine? And the other part, the secret is coaching, of course, is a beautiful part. If you're going to climb Mount Everest, it's a lot easier if you hire a Sherpa, right? But the big part is, guys, mentorship. And the other part is having somebody in your life. And it doesn't, if it's coaching, great, but have somebody who's going to hold you accountable. And accountability is not somebody who's going to make it okay. Oh, it's okay that you didn't do your calls. I know you're going through a tough time. No, that's not the accountability buddy you want. But if you want to have an accountability partner, find them today. But in order for them to hold you accountable, you have to be clear on what is it that you are committed to doing. And then have that person come in and remind you, not of your commitment to them, of your commitment to yourself. Because integrity, that word integrity, what does integrity mean? Doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Integrity is not what we do when everybody's watching, guys. Integrity is what we are when nobody's watching. And so when you set it down, when you say integrity, we show up in our industry and I'll have integrity with you, Daryl. If I tell you I'm going to do something, man, I'm going to make sure I get it done for you.
And I believe that because I know you.
Yeah, but I want you to have that same level of integrity with yourself. If you say you're going to do something, have that same level. Don't bail on you. If you say you're going to door knock or do open houses or all the things you say, be in integrity with yourself. That's also where confidence grows. Every single time you do something that you said you were going to do, when nobody's watching, it builds that confidence muscle, right? But you can't do it if you don't know what it is.
So we're coming to 2:30, and I'm going to do one last question, then we're going to do questions. So how can agents better align their daily actions with long-term vision instead of short-term results?
Well, I think long-term vision is what are you going to do? Sustainable.
It's in one day, let's make it a year, right?
Yeah, and sustainable, not obtainable. A lot of times when we're setting ourselves up in business, guys, we'll think, I'll work more, I'll do more, I'll generate more, I'll more. And we put behaviors in place that are obtainable. What's the difference? Can I lose 40 pounds right now? Sure, I can. Whack my body in half, toss my legs off to the side. I've lost 40 pounds. Is it obtainable? Yes. Is it sustainable? No, I'm dead. So when you look at your business, in the beginning, there's sacrifice. In the beginning, suck it up. You're going to have to do shit that you're not going to like. But what I want you to work towards long term is going, in 5 years from now, do I want this to be my reality? And if you don't, then you're constantly putting the blueprint in place so that some of this gets dialed back. If someone comes to me and joins coaching and says, I want to learn how to generate more leads. Nope. Before we even have that conversation, let's talk about your conversion first. What are you doing to convert the lead? Because just generating leads is noise in your business. Yes. So long term, when it's sustainable, is not having the mindset, I'm just going to generate leads. Is it an intricate part of our business? Sure. But sustainability lives inside of your ability to convert. That's where sustainability lives.
So thought process. I used to call, when I first started the business, 100 people, talk to 100 people. Took me 8 hours a day because I'm a dinosaur. We didn't have computers. We didn't have phones. What we had is rotary phones. We had to spin around very slow, very hard in the finger. And as all I did was take a phone book. And I would just take the phone book and just go through 100 people. But it took me more than 100 people because to actually talk to 100 people, I probably had to talk to 330 or 350. It took me 8 hours every single day. Who's worked 8 hours in real estate? So today is February, what is it? February 26th. How many days have you worked since January 1 to today? Throw an answer. Bad weather. What bad weather? I worked every day. I only took a few days off. I went to Dominican Republic, but that was a holiday. But outside of that, I worked every day at Christmas and New Year's, right? I took 30 listings in December right up till the middle of January because I worked every day and I took 30 listings. So my numbers are up 40% versus last numbers. These are my personal numbers because I made a point right in front of all you guys. I'm going to work. This team is going to be number 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 in Canada this year, right? So if I'm the leader, then I got to drive the needle. So I'm going to go push and make it happen, right? So I look to my good friends, Richard Robbins. Storm she's Richard Robbins too, but she's better looking. Richard's a good looking guy, but Sue's a good looking girl.
Long in the tooth.
It doesn't matter. But I love these guys. I truly, truly do. So I align myself with people I love that can help me help my team. So, I have many different people that I have like that. So I'm always looking for people that are positive, energetic, that can teach us something. We can learn from something and they're honest. I don't want to listen to someone that's, telling me, give me money, money. I got the answer. So I see teams or agents chasing after wild rabbits. We had a wild rabbit, Candace and I, Penny. Penny was 8 pounds, 9 pounds with one straight ear and white crooked ear. We got a little beagle hound that was this big. So the rabbit used to chase the dog around. And then the dog got bigger and used to chase the rabbit around. So we put them outside and let them chase each other. It was hilarious, right? It was the funniest thing you ever seen. So I always say to somebody, if you think you can go catch a rabbit, and that's what I tell the market, to the people that want to sell a house, if you want to overprice your house, you're already behind that rabbit. You'll never catch that rabbit. We're in a chase market right now. What do I mean by chase? Go chase the rabbit. You can never, ever catch. If Penny went out and started running, do you think you and I could go catch it? Only if it got in the corner or it would come to us. But you could never catch it. So you need to be ahead of the wild rabbit to be able to catch it. And if they overprice it, they're never going to get there. So don't listen to all the agents. Let them show you the stats. like one area that I'm listening, I got a new listing in Aurora. There was 89 activities there. Only 11 houses sold since last August. 11. So 77 of them didn't sell. So you want to be in that 77 or you want to be in the 11 that sold? You make that choice. You know, $2 million is out of the thing. So we settled at 1848. It's coming on the market. Gordon's house. But they won 2 million, but I wasn't taking it 2 million. I wouldn't even take it at 188. I said, no way. Because they kept trying to raise it up. I said, give somebody else, then call me back later. I'm not in. So having that confidence and having that belief, right? What do you do every day to get that way? You need to educate yourself. You need to be involved with the team, coaching. So it's now 2:30. Let's give her a great big hand for this, what she's put right now. And Rich, you're going to have a hard time coming back here. I might have to Storm again. She was amazing. But I love you, brother. I'll have you back anytime. So right now, I'm going to go into questions and answers. So I'll take anyone that is here first and then anyone that's on Zoom right now. Was she not amazing? Right? Now you can see why I was so excited to have her here. Because she doesn't hold back. She has a passion. She has a love. Guys, if you don't, and I tell each and every one of you guys, if you don't have a passion for this business, get out. If you don't have a passion for anything you do in life, get out. Life is short, and you can never produce at any level if you don't have a love and a passion for what you do. Trust me, after over 30 plus years, every day I'm excited to go out and the opportunities that I have to help my clients out. Because right now they need us more than ever.
Amen.
Because they're out there feeling challenged, they're feeling struggled, and I'm an answer. I'm an answer for their struggles. So there's nothing better. I would drive down the street and I said, I sold that one, I sold that one, I sold that one. But I would say we're not number one, we're number two. So really I like to be number one in Canada, but really I want to say we're number two to our clients, right? So this is our opportunity to get involved, go full out. Who wants to go full out and win this year? Full out. Full out. Quit buying your excuses. Get out of your fears and get into action. Get into commitment every freaking day. Do what you're supposed to do. And then even do some things that you're not supposed to do. But don't get caught.
My questions were simple. I love doing door knocking. Playing door knocking in the past was much easier, but nowadays I'm having some challenges. And what are the challenges that each time when I go for door knocking, either they have a camera over there, they don't answer or leave a message, or they don't open a door, which is now 50% less than the result what I'm getting. So what's the best way to do it?
The question was, he's not, lots more people have cameras, they're not answering their doors as much, and he's not producing the same result that he used to. Fair?
Yeah.
So I always believe that, okay, so when your door knocking strategy is a big part of it, and if they've got cameras, I'm doing a performance at their door for them. I'm like, hey, you know, I know you're in there. You'll probably see this later. I just want to say hi. You know, my name is, you're going to see me around here a lot. I'll be back, and be playful because they're already seeing it, right? And one of my guys, and he said, oh, Storm, like, this is crazy. And he goes, I go up to the doors, they all have cameras. I said, and what are you doing? And he said, well, nothing. And I said, you're like, man, showtime. And not to be a clown or to be an idiot or anything, but just literally say, hey, hopefully you'll see this later. My name is, I'll be back. Love this community. Holy cow. Like, just be as if they were at the door. What a bonus, actually. Because when you look at it with your mindset, before there was cameras at the doors, they would never know we were there. Yes. Well, now they know we were there and they see you there consistently. So I believe when you're knocking, you get a lot more steps in this way. But we want to be seen lots of times. The human brain needs to see an image 12 times to remember it. The more times the brain sees an image, you go from being a stranger to familiar. But the challenge a lot of times when we door knock is we'll start in a community, we'll do 100 doors, and we'll go back, we'll do the next 100 doors, and we'll go back and do the next 100 doors. By the time we finish, the first 100 doors haven't seen us for 3 months. So do every 5th door, every 4th door. Your starting point is the same every time. And then when you're going in, you're seen in that community way more frequently, and you go from being a stranger to familiar. And then the other part would be, when are people home? As soon as the sun starts shining, people are going to be out on the weekend, yes? They're going to be out cleaning up their yards. They're going to be doing all those. So timing it and figuring out what is the heartbeat of the neighborhood that you're going to. Sometimes we get locked into the routine of I go Mondays from 9 till 11 and Wednesdays from, and we get locked into the time that's convenient for us. But when we talk about that's doing, we talk about leverage. I want to find out when my people are there, right? So just studying a little bit. The camera's there. Let them know who you are. Talk to the camera and let them know you're going to see me here a lot. I'm not afraid of being in the place where I'll go, my goal is to be the go-to real estate agent in this area. I know that that is a privilege that is earned. You'll see me. I'll be back. And I'm not a proponent of handing over my business card unless I've got their details as well. Because here's the thing. As soon as I give you my card, I'm saying to you, here's a way for you to contact me. And I've closed the door on permission to go back, because a month later I'm there, I'm at their door, and they're thinking, why is she at my door? She gave me her business card last time she was here and basically said, if you ever need anything or have any questions. So instead, oh, you don't need my business card. I'm going to be back. You're going to see me around here a lot, right? So try some of those strategies. Talk to the door. You've got an audience, right? Be conscious of when you're walking up. Be seen in the neighborhood a lot more frequently. So don't go in and do 100 doors. Go in and do every fifth, every fourth, every third until you've canvassed the whole area. And then I want you to think about your leave behind as well, right? If you're leaving something at the door, if it's just going to be a dash and go, that's fine. But make sure there is a picture on it, because I'm going to see the picture my brain's going to see. How do I know this is true, guys? I had the privilege of being invited to Europe to do a keynote to an area I'd never been in my life. I get there and all people are looking at me. They're like, and I had so many people go up and go, oh, you just look really familiar. Oh, I thought I knew you. And I know none of them did. And then it hit me. How did they know me? Why did so many people say that I looked familiar? Because for 6 months building up to this event, what had the people been doing? Marketing it, promoting it, talking about their speakers. My face was splashed all over their promoting. So all these people had been seeing my image for 6 months. And then all of a sudden when I showed up, I went from being a stranger to familiar.
Household name.
Right? And so remember the consistency of it and staying the course, my friend. On top of door knocking, I would suggest you want to make sure you're a part of the community in other ways. If there's a community barbecue or something going on, make sure you're there. Get a sign and offer for signage for a street open house. Not open house, a street garage sale, right? Let your signage be there. Get involved in the community, frequent the local coffee shops, get to know the people, wear your brand, and look for people to help. I can tell you right now, I could leave here, and within 2 hours, I could have 5 different conversations and 3 people in my database. Do you know how? Wear my brand and offer to help. If I see someone struggling to get something off the shelf, if it's on the top shelf, we're shit out of luck because I need help with that. They look for people to help. Hey, do you need some help with that? Can I help you with that? Or you just go and start conversations. If you're wearing your brand, most people are going to look and go, oh, Remax, are you a realtor? I am. Right? And then what's the next question? How's the market? Right? So purposeful intent is being able to speak to it. But then what comes next? You know what? I love this community so much. I'm always out and about meeting everybody. I still cannot believe I have the privilege of helping people buy homes here. I send out community updates every single month. I know you would find it valuable. What's your email address? I'll make sure you get it. I can guarantee you'll get a lot less no's, right? Stay the course, my friend. Stay
Your hand.
course.
Stay there, Cyrus. Stay there. So I'm going to add on to that. You heard what she said? That is brilliant. Because anybody that's been out door knocking with me, whenever there's a camera, I would say how nice their house is and too bad we missed you. I would say, I'm always commenting, right? So you need to change your mindset, because here's what I'm going to tell you, whether you're phone calling or you're door knocking, you're going to run at between 33 and 35%, no matter what. It doesn't matter. It's morning, whether it be in the afternoon or it be at night. You're going to only hit 33 to 35% max. So call it 30%. So no matter what, you have to plan for that. So that audience of 30%, when it's time, it's showtime. You better be at your best. Beautiful smile, charisma, relationship thinking, right? You think when someone comes to the door, going, hey, I'm Daryl King. Nice to see you. Hey, how you doing? Right? Trust me, it's excitement. It's conversation. If anybody has been at door knock with me in an open house or even listen to me on the phone, I'm your best friend. We've known each other for years. So one, you got to change that mindset quickly because I'm not getting the results I once did. How often are you doing it? Every day? No, you're not. You're doing it inconsistently, right? Guys, if he does it consistently, I promise anybody here, if you do it every day, because you guys are doing a good job, I'll tell you now, right? So what happens is if you do it every single day, I guarantee you, whether you be doing open houses every weekend or doing door knocking, just those two things, I guarantee you, you're going to make at least $200,000, at least.
And don't be ashamed of you. And what do I mean by that? I am unabashed in my follow-up. So my primary client in our organization is brokers and managers. Okay, I'm
That's
giving
who
you
she
business
is.
Development, right?
She's a big
So
boss.
I've got like my brokers and managers have 100 of me banging on their door every single day. Yes. So I will send an email, then I'll send a follow-up email, and then literally my email or my text will be Chihuahua on the path like of your life, neighborhood pain in the ass. And I feel like, and that you would think, oh gosh,
Get
I cannot
ghosted.
tell
You heard about
how
ghosting?
how
Ghosting.
many of my brokers have finally said, Storm, thank you so much for staying consistent. Thank you for continuing to reach out. No, you're not a pain in the ass. We love it. Like, so the consistency of it, we have been trained and we have trained them. If I ignore them, they'll go away. And guess what? They ignore us and we go away. And so don't allow that to dictate who you are. Know who you are, know what you bring to the table, decide how often you're going to go, and it will unfold. I promise you, my friend.
Consistency and action and belief. Everybody say, I believe. I believe. I believe today I'm going to find someone that's looking for me to do business with.
So my question is similar to Cyrus, but I like to make phone calls, but there's that screening system, the Google screening system to identify who you are, what you're calling about, and then it rings. So I do leave a message, but very seldom do I ever connect. How do I get around that, would you say?
Okay, so I'm a proponent. When you leave a message, can I ask you what your message sounds like?
Hi, I'm Keisha, and I'm just calling regarding your inquiry on, your home purchase, for example, in such and such an area. Please give me a call back. My number is such and such.
Who trained you with that script?
I don't know. I just do it from the top of my
So-
Well,
head.
that's not something I would have trained you with.
Okay.
So that's why you're having no results. No.
So I would do this. I always say that again, it comes back to that mindset of if they know if they ignore us, we'll go away, and they ignore us, we go away. Yes. So first of all, you behave yourself.
I am.
Commend you for having the
She's not saying what she's supposed to say.
But I would never, ever, ever leave it in their hands. Whatever your message is, it is always, if I don't hear from you in the next 3 hours, I'll call you back. If I don't hear from you in the next day, I'll shoot you an email. If I don't hear from you, I'll send you a text. I never, ever, ever leave the loop in your hands. Because if they know you're going to keep coming and then you say, I'll call you again in 3 hours, I'll reach out again tomorrow, whatever your next step is, and then you fulfill on that, they're going to go, she's not going away. So you'll elicit a response a little bit quicker, right? So always let them know when you're going to follow up next. Always.
But I acknowledge her for coming up here.
Yes.
Say that she's doing it.
Yeah.
So at least you're doing it. You're just not doing it correctly. So it's like we got to practice guys. If there's one thing I can teach you, you need to practice every single day.
Yes.
Look, at 34 years in the business, I still practice.
There's one question online. I don't know if we want to get to that or not. I don't even know if they're still there.
You mentioned to go the day before the open house and go door to door to let people know about your open house. My question is, people in the neighborhood are most likely not going to move from one house to another down the street. What is the intent for doing that? It is a word of mouth kind of thing. So what she said is, she didn't say to do down that street. She said, where's the buyers coming from? That could be 3 blocks, that could be 3 miles, 10 miles away, and go blanket that neighborhood and invite them. So if the house is $1 million and go let blanket an area of 700,000, invite them.
And the other part of it as well, it's twofold when you're looking at open houses. So number one, the reason that I would always really take advantage of really connecting with the neighbors, circle prospecting, is because when you're working with a listing, guys, like when we're working with buyers, it's phenomenal, but really you're secret agents, right? Nobody knows that you're working with the buyer except other agents and the people that you buy from. And our hope with the buyer is we're going to do a great job for them and they're going to refer us. But a listing is a totally different beast, right? You have so many different opportunities to reconnect. So it's twofold. I would agree that maybe the neighbors would not buy the house. You never know. So don't have that mindset. But I would like more than anything, if they're thinking of listing and they come and they see how you did something, then they may call you when they're ready to list the story of you. The other part of it was to prospect outside of the neighborhood. Our responsibility when we're selling a house is not to sell the house, it's to find the frickin' buyers. And our marketing, our communication, and what we do has to be designed to that end. And if I don't know who my buyers are, my marketing can be way wrong, right? So knowing where your buyers are coming from, finding an area that kind of matches that a little bit, then you've got 2 powerful areas that you're farming.
You know, when you sell the house, they're excited because now a household in their neighborhood. Now, how much is my house worth? My house is a lot better than their house. Come and give me an evaluation. How many times that happen? All the time. But you got to show up every day. So I want to take this moment and I want to give a great big hand to Storm here because she was absolutely incredible. Rich, I still love you, brother, but she's a hard bargain here, right? So again, let's all give her a big hand. Right? Woo! You want to take a bow?